All right, so we have that beautiful fresh rosemary that I cut off my plant in my front window of my living room. It was a rosemary plant I brought in just before the snow fell last fall, and I just love rosemary. I love having it in my house. It smells amazing. It has a very pine like scent to it, and it is great for stimulating our brain. That pine scent, those chemicals stimulate our brain, and they increase the circulation in the capillaries just under the scalp when we use the oil on our scalp to moisturize and just to stimulate that scalp for healthy hair. So I make this oil for hair oil, and I also put it in my shampoo bars. So I had too big a jar as well. So I cut the rosemary into smaller pieces and added it to the jar. And you can see it weighs about 16 grams. So I'm going to write that down. And you don't have to be this accurate though. If you're just, do it yourself or at home and you want to make some rosemary oil, you don't have to measure. You can do the simpler method where you just add about half a jar of herb, cut up herb, to 3/4 of a jar, and then pour your oil over the herb till it reaches the threads of the jar at least. You can pour a little bit more than that if you like. You want to make sure the herbs are covered. You don't want a lot of air between where the top of the oil is, the surface of the oil, and the lid of the jar, because of course then that can cause oxidation, which could turn your oil rancid. And jojoba is a very stable oil. You can heat it to higher temperatures and it lasts for a long time. I like to use it because it really takes up the scent of whatever you put in it. So it makes a lovely vanilla oil. If you infuse vanilla pods into it, you get the scent of the vanilla. That's also how I get my scent for my vanilla oil. And it'll nicely take up the scent of the rosemary leaves. So that's really pleasant, very refreshing oil. You can just use it on your scalp, use it on your skin. The jojoba oil is the oil that is most like the oil of our skin, which is called sebum. So that's a nice reason to use jojoba oil too. It's it mimics the oil that is in our skin. So I cut up and measured the rosemary leaves, and now I'm going to pour some jojoba oil over it to cover it or to reach the threads of the jar. So I'm just going to put a little bit more in there. So it's closer to the top. So we have about 81 grams. That includes the 16 grams of rosemary herb. And I'm just going to remove the funnel, and then I'm going to put the lid on it, and then I'm going to label this on the top, put a piece of tape and label it as jojoba rosemary oil, put the date on it, and then I'll let that sit. I'll let the rosemary sit in the oil in a nice sunny window. Adding a little heat will help to extract the chemicals that we want from the rosemary. And I'll let that sit for about a month on the windowsill and infuse those beautiful herbs. So there you have it, your rosemary oil. You can also, if you want to make sure that you're not going to grow mold, you can use you can use dried herb and macerate it slowly in a sunny location over the course of a month to 6 weeks. Or you can heat this in a double boiler with a water bath on top. Put the jar and the oil and the herbs in. Put some water in the bottom of the double boiler. Simmer it gently. Have the temperature at about 40 Celsius and simmer it for about an hour. And then you can also macerate it that way. So there you go, rosemary oil.